5 everyday bathroom habits seniors keep from the good old days that increase stroke risk by 300%. If you grew up in the 1960s and 70s, your bathroom routine probably hasn't changed much. But here's what the Reset Granny needs you to hear. 5 of those trusted old habits are quietly increasing your stroke risk by up to 300%, and most doctors never think to ask about them. In this video, you'll discover 5 bathroom habits you probably learned decades ago that science now links to dramatically higher stroke risk. We'll walk through why each one matters, what's actually happening inside your body, and most importantly, how to make simple, gentle swaps that keep you safer without turning your routine upside down. Stay until the end, because the 5th habit is the one Granny wishes someone had told her about 20 years ago. You wake up and go through the same bathroom routine you've done for 40, 50, maybe 60 years. Hot shower, same toothbrush technique, same everything. It feels automatic, comforting. But you've noticed things feel different now. A little dizzy when you stand. Gums bleeding more. Oddly exhausted after a morning bath. You tell yourself it's just age. But stroke risk doesn't just come from the obvious things. It hides in the tiny, repeated actions we never think twice about. The things we do every single day. Let me tell you about a woman named Dolores. She was 68, sharp as a tack, lived independently, and prided herself on keeping the same morning routine she'd had since her Navy nurse days in the 1970s. Cold water face splash, scalding hot bath, vigorous teeth brushing, the works. She thought she was doing everything right. Then one Tuesday morning, while brushing her teeth before breakfast, she felt her left arm go numb. By the time her neighbour found her, she'd had a mini-stroke. The doctors ran every test. Blood pressure was managed, cholesterol was fine, no major blockages. But when they dug deeper into her daily habits, they found the culprits hiding in plain sight. 5 small bathroom routines that were silently stressing her cardiovascular system every single day. Dolores had no idea, and neither do millions of seniors who grew up doing the exact same things. Habit 1. Taking extremely hot showers or baths. First thing in the morning. You probably learned that a hot bath wakes you up, gets the blood flowing, helps you start the day right. And for decades, it did. But here's what happens now. When you're over 60, your blood vessels aren't as flexible as they used to be. A sudden blast of hot water causes rapid blood vessel dilation, which drops your blood pressure fast. If you stand up too quickly afterward, or if you're already on blood pressure medication, that drop can reduce blood flow to your brain and trigger dizziness, fainting, or even a transient ischemic attack, which is a mini-stroke. Studies from 2024 show that seniors who regularly take very hot morning showers have a significantly higher incidence of stroke-related events, especially within the first hour after bathing. Your body just can't regulate temperature and pressure the way it used to. The cardiovascular system that once bounced back from temperature changes now needs more time to adapt. When hot water hits your skin, your blood vessels expand to release heat. That's normal. But in older adults, especially those with existing heart conditions or on medications like beta blockers or diuretics, this response can be exaggerated. Your blood pressure can drop 20 to 30 points in seconds. Your brain, which needs constant blood flow, doesn't get enough oxygen for a critical moment. That's when the trouble starts. What makes mornings especially risky is that you're already slightly dehydrated from sleeping for 6 to 8 hours. Your blood volume is lower, your blood pressure naturally dips overnight, and your body is still waking up. Throw extremely hot water into that mix, and you're asking your cardiovascular system to work overtime before it's ready. Many seniors who experience dizziness or falls in the bathroom don't realize it started with water temperature. They blame it on age or balance, but the real culprit was that first blast of heat. Start with warm water, not hot. If you love the heat, gradually increase the temperature during your shower, rather than starting with it. Give your body time to adjust in stages. Think of it like stretching before exercise. You wouldn't jump into a full sprint without warming up, so don't shock your system with extreme heat right away. And here's Granny's trick. Always sit on the edge of the tub or a shower chair for at least 30 seconds before standing up. Let your circulation stabilize. Take a few deep breaths. Make sure you're steady. If your bathroom gets steamy, crack the door or window to let in cooler air and prevent that sauna effect that compounds the problem. It's not about giving up comfort. It's about giving your heart and brain a fighting chance. You can still enjoy your morning bath. You just need to be a little gentler with how you do it, and your body will thank you with fewer dizzy spells and more energy throughout the day. Habit 2. Brushing your teeth. Too hard or right after meals. This one surprises people. You were taught to brush hard, brush often, and brush right after eating. Good hygiene, right? But aggressive brushing damages your gums, and after 60, gum disease isn't just a dental problem, it's a stroke trigger. When your gums are chronically inflamed or bleeding, bacteria from your mouth enters your bloodstream. That bacteria causes inflammation in your blood vessels, which leads to plaque buildup and clotting. Multiple studies now link severe gum disease to a 200 to 300% increase in stroke risk. The connection is real and it's serious. Your mouth is a gateway to your entire circulatory system. When you brush too hard, you create tiny cuts and tears in your gum tissue. Those openings allow oral bacteria, especially Streptococcus and Porphyromonas gingivalis, to enter your bloodstream directly. Once there, these bacteria don't just disappear. They travel through your body, triggering an immune response that causes chronic inflammation in your arteries. That inflammation makes your blood vessels stiff and narrow, creating the perfect environment for clots to form. And when a clot breaks free and blocks blood flow to your brain, that's a stroke. What many people don't realize is that this isn't a one-time event. It's cumulative. Every time you brush aggressively and your gums bleed, you're introducing bacteria into your bloodstream. Day after day, month after month, year after year. Your immune system tries to fight it off, but eventually the constant inflammation takes its toll. Your arteries become damaged, your blood pressure rises, and your stroke risk climbs higher. And brushing right after acidic foods or drinks. It actually scrubs that acid deeper into your enamel and gums, making the damage worse. Coffee, orange juice, tomatoes, wine. These all temporarily soften your enamel. Brushing immediately pushes that acid into your gums and wears down protective enamel faster, creating more opportunities for bacteria to get in. Use a soft bristled brush and gentle circular motions. Think massage, not scrub. Your goal is to remove plaque and food particles, not to punish your gums. Hold your toothbrush at a 45-degree angle to your gum line and use light pressure. If you're unsure, try brushing with your non-dominant hand for a few days. It forces you to slow down and be more mindful. You'll notice how little pressure you actually need to get your teeth clean. Wait at least 30 minutes after eating before you brush, especially if you've had coffee, juice or fruit. Rinse your mouth with water right after meals instead. That helps neutralize acids without causing damage. You can also chew sugar-free gum to stimulate saliva production, which naturally protects your teeth and gums. And if your gums bleed regularly, don't ignore it. See a dentist. Bleeding gums are not normal at any age. They're a sign of inflammation that needs attention. Your dentist can do a deep cleaning, check for periodontal disease, and give you personalized advice. Granny's rule: if your toothbrush looks like a weapon, it's time for a new one. And if you can't remember the last time you saw a dentist, today's the day to make that call. Your mouth affects your whole body, and taking care of it now could save your life later. Habit 3. Straining on the toilet. Nobody talks about this one, but it's critical. If you grew up in an era where you just pushed through constipation or didn't drink much water because you didn't want to bother people by using the restroom too often, you probably strain more than you realize. Straining during a bowel movement spikes your blood pressure dramatically. It's called the Valsalva maneuver, and it forces blood pressure up so high that it can rupture small blood vessels in your brain or trigger a clot to break loose. When you strain, you're holding your breath and bearing down with your abdominal muscles. That action increases pressure in your chest and abdomen, which temporarily blocks blood flow back to your heart. Your blood pressure can shoot up 40, 50, even 60 points in a matter of seconds. For someone with already elevated blood pressure or weakened blood vessels, That sudden spike is dangerous. It can cause a hemorrhagic stroke, where a vessel bursts, or an ischemic stroke, where increased pressure dislodges a clot that travels to the brain. This isn't rare. Emergency room doctors see stroke patients who were simply using the bathroom when it happened. The effort, the holding your breath, the pushing, it's too much stress on an aging cardiovascular system. In fact, studies show that up to 10% of strokes occur during or immediately after straining during bowel movements, particularly in people over 65. Many of these individuals had no warning signs. They felt fine moments before. But that one episode of straining was the trigger their vulnerable system couldn't handle. Part of the problem is cultural. Many seniors grew up being taught not to complain, not to ask for help, and to handle things on their own. You learn to be self-sufficient, which is admirable. But when it comes to constipation, that mindset can be deadly. You might not even realize you're straining because it's become so automatic. You sit down, hold your breath, push hard, and consider it normal. But your body is paying a price every single time. Drink more water throughout the day. Aim for at least 6 to 8 glasses. Dehydration is one of the main causes of constipation, and most seniors don't drink nearly enough. Many cut back on fluids because they don't want to get up at night or worry about accidents, but the risks of dehydration far outweigh those concerns. Eat fiber-rich foods like oatmeal, prunes, beans, leafy greens and vegetables. Fiber keeps things moving naturally without force. Add it gradually so your system can adjust. If you're struggling, talk to your doctor about a gentle stool softener or a fiber supplement like psyllium husk. These aren't signs of weakness. They're tools that protect your health. There's no shame in using them. And when you sit down, relax. Don't rush. Don't push. Let your body do the work naturally. Breathe normally. If nothing happens after a few minutes, get up and try again later. Consider using a footstool to elevate your knees slightly. It puts your body in a more natural position that makes elimination easier without straining. Granny says, "The bathroom is not a race. It's not a test of willpower. It's just your body doing what it needs to do, and your job is to make that as easy and safe as possible." Habit 4. Standing up. Quickly after sitting for a while. You sit on the toilet for a few minutes, maybe reading or just resting. Then you stand up fast because you've got things to do. Or you sit on the edge of the tub, then hop up to grab a towel. That quick transition causes something called orthostatic hypertension, a sudden drop in blood pressure when you stand. Your brain doesn't get enough blood for a moment, and you feel dizzy, lightheaded, or even black out. For seniors, this is one of the leading causes of bathroom falls, and falls can lead to head injuries that trigger strokes or bleeding in the brain. Here's what's happening inside your body. When you sit or lie down for a while, blood pools in your legs and lower body. That's normal. But when you stand up quickly, gravity pulls that blood downward before your heart and blood vessels have time to adjust. Your brain, which sits at the top of your body, suddenly doesn't get enough oxygen-rich blood. That's when you feel woozy, see spots, or lose your balance. In severe cases, you can faint completely. And in a bathroom with hard tile floors, porcelain fixtures, and sharp corners, a fall can be catastrophic. The numbers are sobering. Nearly 30% of seniors over 65 fall each year, and bathrooms are where many of those falls happen. A fall that results in a head injury can cause bleeding in or around the brain, which is a type of stroke called a hemorrhagic stroke. Even if you don't hit your head, the shock and stress of a fall can trigger other cardiovascular events. The fear alone can raise your blood pressure dangerously high in those critical moments. Your body needs time to redirect blood flow when you change positions, especially in the morning when you're dehydrated, or if you take medications that affect blood pressure. Common medications like diuretics, beta blockers, and even some antidepressants can slow down your body's ability to regulate blood pressure during position changes. Add in age-related changes to your nervous system and blood vessels, and you've got a perfect storm for dizziness. Your baroreceptors, the sensors that detect blood pressure changes, become less sensitive with age. They don't react as quickly to tell your heart to pump harder or your vessels to constrict when you stand. Always pause before you stand. Count to 3. Put your hands on your knees or the wall. Stand up slowly, in stages. First, sit up straight, then scoot to the edge of the seat. Then plant your feet firmly on the floor, shoulder width apart. Then push up gradually, keeping one hand on something stable. If you feel dizzy, sit back down immediately and wait. Don't fight through it. Your body is telling you it needs more time. Install grab bars if you haven't already. Put them next to the toilet, in the shower, near the tub. They're not just for people who've already fallen. They're for people who are smart enough to prevent a fall in the first place. Consider adding a nightlight so you're not navigating in the dark. Keep the path to the bathroom clear of rugs or clutter. It's not about being weak, it's about being wise. Granny learned this the hard way after a close call that left her bruised and shaken, and she's telling you now so you don't have to go through that same fear. Your independence is precious, and these small adaptations help you keep it. Habit 5. Using extremely cold water to wash your face. This was a beauty and health trick passed down for generations. Splash cold water on your face to tighten pores, wake up, feel refreshed. It feels invigorating. But for seniors, especially those with high blood pressure or heart conditions, that shock of cold water triggers something called the cold shock response. Your blood vessels constrict suddenly, your heart rate spikes, and your blood pressure shoots up. In vulnerable individuals, this can provoke arrhythmias, angina, or even a hemorrhagic stroke. When icy water hits your face, particularly around your nose, cheeks, and forehead, it activates the trigeminal nerve. This nerve controls something called the mammalian dive reflex, an ancient survival mechanism that slows your heart rate and constricts blood vessels to conserve oxygen. In young, healthy people, this response is mild and harmless. But in older adults, especially those with cardiovascular disease, it can cause dramatic and dangerous changes. Your heart rate can drop suddenly, then rebound with a rapid spike. Your blood vessels clamp down so hard that blood pressure surges. If you already have narrowed arteries or unstable plaque, that surge can dislodge a clot or rupture a weakened vessel. The problem is magnified if you're doing this first thing in the morning, when your body is still waking up, or if you've just come from a warm bed or hot shower. The temperature contrast intensifies the shock response. Your cardiovascular system has to work much harder to stabilize, and for someone with an already compromised heart or blood vessels, that extra work can be the tipping point. A 2023 study from the Journal of Geriatric Cardiology found that seniors who regularly used icy water on their face or neck had measurably higher rates of cardiovascular events, particularly in winter months when ambient temperatures made the contrast even more extreme. The researchers noted that many of these individuals had no idea they were putting themselves at risk. They thought they were following good advice, something their mothers or grandmothers taught them. They had no reason to believe a simple face wash could be dangerous. The cultural context matters too. Many of you grew up believing that toughness meant enduring discomfort. Cold water was virtuous. It built character. It showed discipline. But your body at 70 is not the same as your body at 20. What once felt bracing and energizing can now stress your system in ways you can't see or feel until something goes wrong. Use cool or lukewarm water instead of ice cold. If you want that refreshing feeling, dampen a soft cloth with cool water and gently press it to your face rather than splashing. It gives you the sensation without the shock. You still feel awake and clean, but your heart and blood vessels don't have to work overtime to recover. You can also try splashing your wrists with cool water instead. It's refreshing and much safer because the wrists don't trigger the same dive reflex response. And if you love cold water therapy for other reasons, like cold showers or ice baths for inflammation or mood, talk to your doctor first. There may be ways to do it safely with proper supervision and gradual exposure. But the quick, shocking face splash in the morning, that's one tradition that's not worth the risk. Granny's secret: refreshing doesn't have to mean risky. Sometimes the gentlest approach is the one that keeps you healthiest for the long run. You've taken care of your face for decades. Now it's time to take care of what's underneath. But here's what most people don't realize. It's not about any one of these habits being dangerous on its own. It's the combination. It's doing all five every single day for years and years without knowing they're slowly stressing your heart and brain. Your body is resilient, but it keeps score. Every hot shower, every hard brush, every quick stand-up adds a little strain. And one day, it tips over. The real secret: you don't have to overhaul your entire life. You just have to notice. Pay attention. Make one or two small changes and protect the body that's carried you this far. In 2025, more seniors are learning that prevention isn't about fear. It's about respect. Respect for the body, respect for the habits, and respect for the life you still want to live. After her mini-stroke, Dolores made these exact resets. She started taking warm showers, brushing gently, drinking more water, and moving slowly. 6 months later, her doctor said her vascular health had improved. But more than that, she felt different, calmer, more aware. She'd been rushing through her mornings for 50 years without asking if it still made sense. Granny's lesson. The reset isn't about being afraid of your bathroom. It's about loving yourself enough to adapt. You're not betraying the past. You're honoring your future. Remember, aging doesn't mean you're fragile. It means you're experienced enough to know when to adjust. These 5 habits aren't your fault, but now that you know, they're your responsibility. If this video gave you clarity, give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who still does things the old way. Subscribe to the Senior Reset because Granny's got more wisdom coming your way. You've earned a long, healthy life. Let's make sure you get it. 5. Everyday bathroom habits. Seniors, keep from the good old days that increase stroke risk by 300%.